There's a word no one likes to say anymore. It's become a curse word in some circles. It's a word to be avoided, a word that evokes discomfort and distress and offends decent people. My name is Tom Miller. I pastor Central Assembly. It's a church located in Superior, Wisconsin, where the winters are long and the people are hardy. This is Fuel for the Fire, volume 771, a nasty three-letter word. There's a word that has fallen out of favor with many people. It's no longer deemed politically correct. After all, it may hurt people's feelings, and we don't want anyone to feel bad. It's a nasty three-letter word. The word is S-I-N, sin. We use a lot of other words in place of sin these days. We have to try to soften the impact, I guess. Now we say we made a mistake, or we messed up. We made a bad choice, or an error in judgment. We didn't sin, we slipped up. We relapsed, we backslid. Now it's a disease or an addiction or a sickness. We failed, we made an unfortunate decision. God still calls it sin. It's a nasty three-letter word. Sin in some form is used almost 750 times in the Bible. The scriptures don't avoid it like we do. The Word of God is not afraid to call sin exactly what it is. S-I-N, sin. To sin is to transgress the law. It means we miss the mark. We've all been there and done that. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God, Romans 3:23 says. We all sin, but we don't all necessarily want to deal with it. That's a problem. Our aversion to taking sin at face value keeps us stuck in bondage. Sin is not just a nasty three-letter word. Sin leads to death. Every man is tempted, James says, when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it's finished, brings forth death. Talking about our sin is uncomfortable. It should be. But to avoid what's uncomfortable now is a disaster later. Sin left undealt with is like a parasite gobbling up healthy tissue unchecked. And sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Talking about our sin is hard because it brings conviction, and conviction is painful, but pain is what leads to change. Conviction is what helps us get to the point where the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. If we bring the nasty three-letter word into the light, it loses its power. Sin cloaked in avoidance brings forth death. That's the way I see it. And that's a little fuel for the fire. And remember, I love you guys.